Jed Duggar returns to social media after brother Joseph's arrest, shares Mother's Day, tribute to wife. Have you ever noticed how one social media post can completely change the conversation around a family already surrounded by controversy? That's exactly what happened when Jed Duggar suddenly returned online after days of silence, choosing one very emotional occasion to break that silence: Mother's Day. But while many fans expected him to address the growing attention around his brother Joseph Duggar's reported arrest, Jed took an entirely different route. Instead of statements, explanations, or public reactions, he focused all attention on his wife, Katie Duggar, and their family life. For longtime followers of the Duggar family, the timing instantly raised eyebrows. Social media had already been buzzing with speculation, reactions, and heated debates after news connected to Joseph began circulating online. Fans were refreshing pages, waiting for any member of the family to respond publicly. And then, unexpectedly, Jed appeared online again. The post itself looked simple on the surface: warm photos, family smiles, a heartfelt caption celebrating Katie as a mother. But to many observers, the message carried much more weight than just a holiday tribute. Some viewers saw it as an intentional distraction from the controversy. Others believed Jed was trying to protect his family from the growing media storm. And for some fans, the silence regarding Joseph spoke louder than anything Jed could have actually said. The reaction was immediate. Within minutes, comments began flooding in. Supporters praised Jed for focusing on positivity during a difficult time. Critics accused him of avoiding accountability. Others simply questioned why nobody in the family seemed willing to directly acknowledge the situation surrounding Joseph. And that's where this story becomes far more complicated than a simple Mother's Day post. Because for years, the Duggar family has developed a very recognizable pattern when controversy strikes. Instead of direct public discussions, family members often shift attention toward faith, family milestones, celebrations, or carefully curated personal moments. Some fans say that approach helps them maintain privacy. Others argue it allows difficult issues to remain unaddressed. This latest moment felt familiar to many longtime viewers. Jed's return to social media didn't happen randomly. According to fans tracking Duggar family activity online, his absence had already become noticeable after discussions surrounding Joseph intensified. People were watching closely to see whether Jed, one of the more politically vocal members of the family, would make any public comment. But instead of entering the controversy head-on, he uploaded a deeply personal tribute. The caption reportedly focused on Katie's role as a mother, praising her dedication, love, patience, and commitment to their children. The photos painted a peaceful picture of domestic life: smiling moments, affectionate poses, and an image of stability during a time when the family name was once again dominating headlines for troubling reasons. To supporters, the post felt genuine. One commenter reportedly wrote that Jed was doing exactly what he should be doing, prioritizing his wife and children instead of feeding online drama. Another fan defended the decision to avoid discussing Joseph publicly, arguing that social media is not the place for serious family matters. But not everyone agreed. Critics quickly pointed out the timing. They questioned whether the tribute was intentionally designed to redirect public attention away from the arrest situation. Some accused Jed of carefully controlling the narrative by posting wholesome family content, while controversy continued growing elsewhere online. And because the Duggar family already carries years of public scrutiny, every action now gets examined through a much more critical lens. For many viewers, it's impossible to separate current events from the family's complicated history. The Duggars first built their public image around conservative family values, faith, and traditional lifestyles. Their reality television success introduced audiences to what appeared to be a tightly bonded household centered on religious principles. But over time, scandals and controversies dramatically changed public perception. That history now affects how audiences interpret even the smallest social media posts. A simple Mother's Day tribute no longer feels simple to many followers. Instead, people search for hidden meanings, calculated timing, and unspoken messages behind every upload. And in this case, the silence surrounding Joseph became the central focus. At the time Jed posted the tribute, online conversations about Joseph's reported legal situation were already spreading rapidly across fan communities, entertainment forums, and social platforms. Many viewers expected at least one Duggar sibling to acknowledge the situation publicly. That acknowledgement never came. Instead, Jed's post appeared to deliberately center family unity and appreciation. Some media observers believe that strategy reflects the Duggar family's long-standing approach to controversy management. Rather than engaging publicly with allegations, investigations, or scandals, they often emphasize faith, marriage, children, and positive family imagery. It's a strategy that has sometimes worked for them in the past. But today's audiences are different. Modern social media users tend to demand direct answers, transparency, and accountability. Silence often gets interpreted as avoidance. Carefully curated family photos can appear less comforting and more strategic. And because viewers now analyze celebrity behavior in real time, every post becomes part of a larger public narrative. Jed likely understood that before posting. Which is why many people believe the Mother's Day tribute wasn't just emotional. It was carefully timed public relations. Still, there's another side to this conversation that some fans believe deserves attention. What if Jed simply wanted to celebrate his wife on Mother's Day without turning his social media page into a public courtroom? That argument gained support from followers who said family members shouldn't be forced to address every controversy online. Several commenters defended Jed's right to maintain personal boundaries and protect his immediate family from public chaos. And honestly, that debate reveals something much bigger happening around celebrity culture today. Audiences increasingly expect public figures to respond instantly to controversy, especially when family members become involved in legal or public scandals. Silence itself becomes controversial. But at the same time, many celebrities choose not to speak because anything they say can fuel even larger backlash. For the Duggars, that challenge becomes even more intense because their fame was built around presenting family life publicly. Viewers feel emotionally connected to the family story. That connection creates expectations. Fans don't just watch updates anymore. They feel invested in explanations, accountability, and reactions. So when Jed returned online without mentioning Joseph at all, it created an emotional split among followers. Some interpreted the silence as loyalty. Others saw it as deflection. And some believed it revealed deeper tension happening behind the scenes within the Duggar family itself. Because while the public only sees social media posts, carefully selected photos, and occasional statements, nobody truly knows how family members are handling these situations privately. Public unity does not always reflect private emotions. And in families constantly under public scrutiny, internal pressure can become enormous. That pressure may explain why certain family members have reduced their online activity altogether over the years. Several Duggar siblings have become noticeably more private compared to earlier periods of reality television fame. Some stepped away from constant posting. Others shifted toward controlled lifestyle content instead of personal discussions. A few have avoided major controversies publicly almost entirely. Jed's latest post fits directly into that evolving pattern. It offered warmth without explanation, emotion without controversy, family celebration without public accountability. And depending on who you ask, that was either the smartest thing he could have done, or the exact reason critics remain frustrated with the Duggar family today. As the reactions continued pouring in beneath Jed Duggar's Mother's Day tribute, one thing became impossible to ignore. People were no longer just talking about the post itself. They were talking about what the post represented. For years, Duggar family controversies have unfolded in a very public way, often followed by periods of silence, carefully worded statements, or sudden shifts toward uplifting family-centered content. And because longtime viewers have seen this cycle repeat before, many instantly viewed Jed's return to social media through that same lens. But behind the online debates, another question started gaining attention. Why did Jed choose now to return? That timing became one of the biggest talking points among followers. According to fans who closely monitor Duggar's social media activity, Jed had remained relatively quiet while speculation surrounding Joseph's reported arrest intensified online. Then, suddenly, on Mother's Day, he reappeared with polished family photos and an emotional message about Katie. To some people, the answer seemed obvious. Mother's Day offered the perfect opportunity to post something wholesome, emotional, and difficult to criticize directly. By focusing entirely on motherhood and family appreciation, Jed could reconnect with followers while avoiding direct engagement with controversy. And many critics believed that was intentional. Online discussions quickly turned toward image management. Some viewers accused the Duggar family of prioritizing appearances over transparency. Others argued that the carefully curated family branding that once helped build their television empire was still influencing how they handled difficult situations today. But supporters pushed back strongly against those accusations. Several fans argued that expecting Jed to publicly discuss his brother's legal issues was unfair. They pointed out that Joseph's situation, whatever the details may be, is ultimately separate from Jed's marriage and personal family life. According to those supporters, Jed had every right to celebrate his wife without turning a holiday into a public statement about controversy. That divide created intense debate across fan pages and entertainment forums. One side believed silence equals avoidance. The other believed silence equals privacy. And somewhere in the middle sat a family that has spent years trying to balance public exposure with personal boundaries. For the Duggars, that balance has never been easy. Ever since their reality television fame exploded years ago, nearly every major family milestone has unfolded publicly. Weddings, pregnancies, births, courtships, political campaigns, and family celebrations all became content consumed by millions of viewers. Audiences watched the family grow up in real time. But fame also came with consequences. As scandals began surrounding different members of the family over the years, public trust started eroding. What once appeared to many viewers as a wholesome, united family image became far more complicated. Critics began questioning not only individual behavior, but the overall culture surrounding the family itself. That's why even small actions now generate enormous attention. A single Instagram caption becomes headline news. A missing family member in photos sparks speculation. A period of silence creates theories. And a Mother's Day tribute suddenly transforms into a national conversation about public image, accountability, and family loyalty. Jed's situation reflects exactly that shift. Before the controversy surrounding Joseph, a post celebrating Katie probably would have received mostly positive engagement from fans. Followers would have focused on the couple's relationship, parenting moments, and growing family. Instead, this time the comment section reportedly became divided almost immediately. Some users flooded the post with supportive messages for Katie, praising her parenting and thanking Jed for sharing positive family content. Others questioned why comments about Joseph were seemingly being ignored or deleted. A few commenters even accused the family of trying to move on publicly before audiences received any real answers. That tension created an uncomfortable atmosphere around what otherwise would have been a routine holiday post. And then another layer entered the conversation. Some viewers began wondering whether the Duggar family itself was internally divided about how to respond to the situation surrounding Joseph. Because while some family members remained completely silent online, others continued posting regular content as if nothing had happened. That contrast didn't go unnoticed. In celebrity families, silence patterns often become part of the story itself. Fans analyze who speaks, who disappears, who posts normally, and who suddenly changes behavior online. Every detail becomes evidence for theories about possible family disagreements or behind-the-scenes conflict. Of course, none of those theories can truly confirm what's happening privately. But speculation grows quickly when public communication stays limited. And for the Duggar family, speculation has followed them for years. Part of that comes from the nature of reality television fame itself. Audiences become emotionally invested in personalities they've watched for long periods of time. Viewers feel like they know these families personally. So when controversies emerge, fans expect emotional transparency similar to what they'd expect from someone in their own life. The problem is that public figures often respond very differently under pressure. Many celebrities avoid commenting during active controversies because public statements can create legal complications, media backlash, or even larger headlines. Others choose silence simply to protect their own mental health and families from overwhelming public attention. Jed may very well fall into that category. After all, regardless of public opinion, he is also a husband and father trying to navigate a deeply uncomfortable situation involving his family name. And with every social media post now heavily scrutinized, even basic family updates become risky. That may explain why the Mother's Day tribute appeared so carefully controlled. The photos reportedly focused almost entirely on warm family moments: smiles, children, affectionate poses, and peaceful domestic scenes. The caption emphasized gratitude, motherhood, and appreciation rather than anything connected to current controversy. In many ways, the post projected stability. And that projection matters because public image has always been central to the Duggar brand.